This special prosecutor could have written the same report without using these words: elderly man with a poor memory.
It's gratuitous.
Well,
and he knows it's gratuitous, and it was bad faith.
The truth hurts, and there was nothing gratuitous here. It's either Joe has a striking deficiency in recollection, or he had a solid grasp of all the details and should have been charged. But Hur's decision not to charge Biden was partly guided by the concern that the jury would have found him a sympathetic elderly man with a poor memory. But today, the so-called ethics experts dug in.
I called my fellow ethicists, people who deal with this every day, and we've come to the view, you know what, there's a few lines in here that are gratuitous digs. The former Attorney General agrees. I think it violates Justice Department policy, practice, procedure, protocol, and norms.
Joining me now is Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor, law professor at George Washington University. Professor, did the special prosecutor, Mr. Hur, violate, in your mind, any ethical guidelines?
No, I don't think he's committed any unethical act here. The key to remember is that he took an investigation where the retention and mishandling of classified information was established within the first hour. So he already knew that President Biden had classified material. He knew that they were housed in highly inappropriate spots. The president lied about that even after the report. They were in his garage in these torn up boxes. So the question for her was, well, do we still go ahead and prosecute him? That's a matter of, in his view, intent. And he said we could not establish that full intent because of a lack of memory. But that lack of memory was material to his decision. He was saying, the president would just blanked out whenever we asked him about these dates going back 40 years. So he was talking about the key issue, the only issue that remained. Now, I have a serious problem with the report because he describes every element of a crime and then says, well, we just didn't think a jury would take to convicting this elderly guy with a poor memory. It makes it sound like if he was less sympathetic or his memory was a little better, he might have been charged. But in terms of talking about his memory, that was the key issue that he was investigating. How much did Biden remember? But also, Laura, what's really odd about this press conference is that only one of two things can be true, right? Either he has diminished memory or he was deceptive, right? He went in front of the entire country and said, no, I've got great memory. Well, then that means you were deceptive with the special counsel. So it's a very odd press conference from so many different vantage points.
Well, the point he made about, well, I didn't have, confidential or classified information, that's not what the special prosecutor found. I mean, even he was fact-checked by liberal commentators who had to even say that today, that why did he say that? That's absolutely not true.
Yeah, he said he didn't willfully retain material. I went straight on Twitter and said, here's a heading that says the president willfully retained material. And so it was otherworldly to see him stand up there and deny established facts from this report.
Jonathan, the attacks on the special counsel here by the surrogates for Joe Biden today, will that have any impact, do you believe, on what the public takes away from what they saw?
No, there's a new poll out today showing over 70% of people have serious or strong reservations about the president's mental fitness. And certainly that press conference did not help. It was a disaster for him to show his acuity, and then he confuses world leaders. So it was a truly cringe-worthy moment. So all of the attacks on her is not going to change that fact. But these are the same people that criticized folks for wanting to take any information out of the Mueller report, to say anything negative towards Mueller. And now you've got this sort of mob action against Hur. I think that Hur may have come to the wrong conclusion on whether to charge the president or whether there's evidence for a criminal charge. I could have understood if he said, look, traditionally we just don't charge these issues, but he couldn't say that because of Trump. But to attack him in this way is beyond the pale in my view.
Jonathan, interesting. Thanks so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.